You're listening to Fat Cat Radio, a family of hosts playing the best local music, raising the bar one note at a time.
Tonight on the Big Rich and Little Lisa show, Where's the Beef brings us a battle of the lifestyle gurus started back in 2013 and just got squashed in 2019. We also have some courtroom drama mixed in with some of Little Lisa's funny and serious stuff tonight. So we hope you join us next as we bring down the house piece by piece. Oh, and don't let me forget, we have a special independent artist song for you tonight, brought to you by former The Big Rich Show guest Slyide. Slide with me, baby. And welcome to the show, everyone. Glad to have you here tonight. One thing I know we're going to try and not talk about too much, or if at all, is that darn coronavirus. Man, Lise, it's been killing me. You know, I deliver bread for a living, and trying to pull into these parking lots to get bread to the shelves, it's been a nightmare the last week and a half. And man, I mean it. So, how's your week been?
My week has been really good, busy, but really well.
Cool. Anything new happen?
Can't think of anything really.
All right. Well, you want to jump right into it with some funny stories or something?
Well, I have a question for you, Rich. Have
Okay.
you ever had a very vivid dream, one that felt so real that even after you woke up and realized it was all a dream, that you were still like kind of up in the air with it? 'Cause I know I have, like, a couple years ago, my ex uh had cheated on me in one of my dreams, and it was so real that I was just pissed off at him all day.
Oh man,
Even,
yeah. I've had
even
vivid dreams. I've even had wet dreams. I mean, back to the vivid dream. I'm just kidding. Oh no, I'm not. But vivid dreams, man. Yeah, they feel so real. When you wake up, you can be mad at somebody or think you actually won the lottery. But what do you got for us?
Well, a lady named Gina Evans
Mhm.
was on a high-speed train and was racing down the tracks when her fiance was sleeping by her side when some bad guys appeared, she said. There was only one way to protect her 2.4 carat diamond engagement ring. That was to swallow it.
Oh,
So she popped the sucker off, put it in her mouth, and swallowed it with a glass of water, Evans said. Then she woke up. Evans was relieved that morning that the whole episode, had just been a vivid, bizarre dream. Well, that's what she thought until she realized that her ring was no longer on her finger. Soon she realized that the bad guys and a high speed train had all been her snoozing subconscious, but the consumption of her ring was not. No, that's a James Bond dream if I ever heard one.
good Lord. Man, we'll talk about turning coal into diamonds. Horrible. I feel sorry for her having to sift through that pile of dung.
Right? That's what my friend Rachel is saying right now in Messenger. But unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately for her, she had to go to the ER, and the doctor decided they would not allow her to pass it through her colon. They went in with whatever that medical term is that they use, where they took the scope and a little instrument down through her throat and retrieved the ring for her. So
Oh, wow.
it's unfortunate she got that big, huge hospital bill, but all right.
That's horrible. I would have told the doctor, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just pass this thing. And if we find it, we find it. I'm not going to, it is what it is. Not having them stick no instruments down my throat and my stomach to my intestines.
2.4 carat diamond, that's an awful lot of money.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Well, I mean, Uh, hmm. If you can see corn in your poo, I guess you can see that. I'm just kidding. Oh, Lord. You know, I'm not going to lie, man. I've had some dreams where, and normally, I don't know why, they're always money. And then, like, when I start, I'll be in a casino and I hit like the craps table and I'm just on fire and I'm stacking money. And then I start thinking, ooh, I'm going to pay this off and I'm going to get out of debt on this credit card. And then when I start doing that, I'm like, oh, this is a dream.
If that ain't some kind of James Bond dream, I don't know what is. That's all I gotta say. So Rachel is messaging me. She says, I dream like that all the time. She said, I would hate to dig that out, though, if I was her. She actually went to the hospital, and they decided not to allow it to pass through, and they did I don't know what you call it professionally, but it's the scope and the little instrument down the throat and took it out that way. She didn't have to poop it out. Thank God. 2.4 carats, I wouldn't want to either.
And before we get going tonight, too, folks, too deep, I do want to give a shout out to Joe Diffie, who passed away today.
Yes.
Oklahoma legend. He died of the coronavirus, or complications of, supposedly. And he was supposed to be here in concert in a few weeks, yeah? But anyways, folks, we do have it to where you guys can text or instant message us if you're friends with us outside of here or fans and you have our IMs. So feel free to anything that we're talking about, if you want to chime in or if you just have something to say, feel free to IM us and we'll give you a shout out during the show. Also, with that said, we're going to start doing we're going to call Big Rich and Little Lisa plugs, and where we have past and future guests, and whenever they come on, they're going to do plugs for the radio show and the radio station, and the fans as well. And I'm going to be playing these, I know, on all my social media. And to give you kind of an example, sorry, we're going to be having a contest for the fans if you guys want to do this. And all you got to do is you can record yourself and send it to the BRRS-Media email that you can find on BRRS-Media.com, or you can just leave it in the message section there as well. But we had one. She's been with us, man, I want to say since before the show. Whoa, sorry about that, guys. Before the show was even a show. And I love her, Big Mama. So let's see if you guys can hear this come across. But Big Mama did a little plug, and here she goes.
Hey, this is Big Mama here, and I listen to the Big Rich and Little Lisa show on Fat Cat Radio every Sunday evening.
Baby. So there we go, guys. What'd you think about that, Lise? Big Mama giving a shout out to the radio station.
Oh, you know I love me some Big Mama. She's our number one fan. And then following right behind her, I have to say, is Sandra Griffin.
Oh, Sandra Griffin, I love you. And we got a lot out there. Brian
Josh,
Schumann,
Nance, lots of them.
Mr. 1500.
Yes.
Marianne.
Yes, Marianne Cook is a very
TB
big
Cook,
follower, fan of ours.
Jason. I know a lot out there. I think even Mike Simons is a fan. Twism, Ian Gurin. Man, speaking of Ian Gurin right now, I got to say this. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, jumped in the shower, took a shower, was sitting in there, and I was like, man, I'm going to rewatch our interview that I had with Ian. Dude, if you guys have not seen that Ian Gurin interview, it is on fire. That is one of the best interviews we had. I mean, he just opened up. I mean, I didn't even know there was that side to him. I mean, he was so knowledgeable about the spiritual world and being awoke and, these things. And it was just an amazing ride. So, Ian, I'm giving a plug to that, man. I mean, that was probably, I have fun on all my interviews and all my shows, but, man, that was one that'll go down that I could listen to it probably 3 times a week and not get tired of it. So that's a shout out to Ian. He said he was going to be listening tonight. So, and if you are listening, message me and I'll give you another shout out. And then Twism as well. You know, he's already listening. That's the boss, man. Has the skills to pay the bills.
We also have Rachel Smith listening tonight. She's messaging me. Thank you for listening. I know my sister, Dorothy Dexter, said she was going to listen tonight. If you're listening, sis, hit me up and let me know in Messenger. So, Rich, I have a question for you.
Yeah, I'm listening, hon. Go ahead.
Have you by any chance seen 6,150 pounds of chickpeas?
Well, first off, they don't call me Big Rich because I'm small. So I like to eat just about anything. But chickpeas, I think I might start gagging. So imagine one or two at the salad bar, accidentally getting on my plate, and then I'm just going to flick them off at the people next to me or something. I can't imagine the weightage that you just...
Yeah, well, apparently 6,150 chickpeas have come up missing.
Where?
From Washington, D.C. But there is a reward if they're found. They were supposed to be going to a restaurant called Little Sesame over there, and they were shipping from Montana, and they shipped on a Sunday and arrived in Washington, D.C. on February 4th in the city, but never made it to the restaurant. They've been misplaced. Now, how in the hell do you misplace 6,150 pounds of chickpeas? I don't know.
Where is it hiding?
Right.
D.C. is not that big. That's where I was born.
The owner is very upset right now because he buys from one supplier every year, and that supplier only makes enough per year for the people that order from him. He doesn't grow any extra. So now the owner of this restaurant says he has to order from a different supplier unless these ones get found. So he put a reward out. If you find them and turn them in or tell them where they can go get them, I guess, he is offering hummus for a whole year as a reward. No. Me, okay. I would think if I knew where that much chickpeas were, I could probably make my own hummus. It would last a lot longer than a year because I wouldn't eat it either. That's just me.
I guess. You know, when you first showed up today at the studio, we were working on a lot of different things. Again, like we were rewiring. We were also shooting some teasers and some plugs for an upcoming deal that you're going to be doing on your own. This is going to be the first time that Lisa stepped out on her own as a reporter / researcher. And this kind of strikes home to her. She's going to be covering a topic. She grew up in an abusive home as a child. She was abused. And she's always been on the front lines of child abuse since I've known her. And she's involved in her community. This is something I wanted to mention too, Lisa. I know no one's been giving you any props, and we haven't even put anything on social media, but she lives on a fixed income, folks, all right? And we do this, what we're doing, for free. But she's taking her free time right now, and she's trying to gather stuff, and she's making lunches, sack lunches and food for the people who are on the streets right now that everyone has kind of forgot about during this coronavirus. While we're all up in our houses protecting ourselves, she's took it upon herself to go out, and she has been feeding the homeless and the less fortunate or the elderly. And she's been doing this with her. This is her stuff. She's going to the store and buying it. We've had a few places donate some stuff. I donated some bread as well and some more hot dogs. So, hey, you guys, you might be getting some hot dogs in the next few days. And you get them tears out of your eyes, girl. I love you for that, because what you're doing because it matters and you care.
I do care, Rich. I care a lot about our community. I don't care if you're driving a Mercedes or if you're walking or riding a bike. I don't care how much money you have or how little you have. I've been homeless before. I know what it's like, and I know how people look at the homeless as they're either drug addicts or they're alcoholics or they're just lazy people that don't want to work. That's not always necessarily the case. It could be, like right now, everybody, unless you're on Social Security disability or something, everybody else that has a working income at this moment is more than likely living paycheck to paycheck. And at any moment, your neighbor, one of your family members, anybody could become homeless. And I would hope that there's people like myself out there that care about our homeless just as much as they do somebody who's rich, like the CEO of Victoria's Secret for the ladies, you know, or, you know, Bugattis for the men, you know, whoever. And I go out and I make these lunches and I do give them out. And I have actually been telling a couple of people, please don't praise me, because it's God that allows me to do this. Absolutely. Because like you said, I do live on a fixed income, and he provides for me to provide for them. Speaking of people that's donated, Chicken Express in Shawnee, Oklahoma,
Kudos
Rick
to
and
them.
his wife, they have the biggest, kindest hearts that I could ever say. Like, words don't matter. They have donated so much. Chicken Express is actually going to be on the menu tomorrow. Chicken Express again, and it was on the menu yesterday. Well, the day before yesterday. So big, huge shout out to Chicken Express, because without them, I don't know if I'd be able to do everything that I want to do to help people. So
absolutely.
And I want to give a shout out to my daughter. She's 10. I've explained to her in depth about this coronavirus from what we've been told of how serious it is. Whether that's our opinion or not, that's what we're being told. And I told my daughter that. And my daughter, her name's Angelina, and she told me that, Mom, I'd rather get the coronavirus and fight that illness to get better, and as long as we can feed our homeless, than sit on my butt and not care. And that was a 10-year-old talking. So kudos to my daughter.
Absolutely. Your daughter, man, she's a bright young thing. I love her. I told you already. It's my daughter, too. That's why I tell her all the time. She does so good, and I try and do things for her, man, because I know that there's so many things that she wants to experience. With your hands tied, sometimes you can't do it. So I'm glad that I'm able to step up and help out sometimes.
Yes.
But where I was also going is Lisa's going to be doing her own. I just had to get out there, Lisa. I love you. And I want to, Jeff and I are going to donate all that we can this week, bread-wise, so you can keep doing this.
I appreciate it very much.
And it's tough now because we're not even getting fresh bread. It's hard to find day-old bread, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we're going to do our best. And I got some, you know, and we dealt with it earlier. But Lisa's also going to be doing a special report on child abuse. And she's going to be covering some of the more infamous and bizarre cases, as well as she's going to try and teach and show the people what we can do and what you can do to help her save a child's life.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a very good show. And it's probably going to be coming towards the end of April and early May. And she's doing this totally on her own. I'm teaching her how to use all the software. And so this is going to be a Little Lisa production. And I'm so proud of you stepping up to do this, girl. I want you to know. So with that said, give us some funny, man. I know Big Mama just sent me on. She's like, all right, enough crying and sappy. Give me the funny, Chappie.
Let's see. I can give you a story about a 16-year-old. He's also a high school student. He body slammed this man named David Beltran. It was an incident that happened outside of Las Cruces.
Las Cruces, yeah.
Yes, New Mexico, at a store. Beltran had grabbed this 2-year-old child from her mother and demanded that this lady let go of her other 2 children, ages 1 and 9. The mother refused, trying to get the man to release the child that he did have in his hands, and the attacker started punching her and other people that were trying to intervene. I mean, this man was trying to kidnap all 3 of her kids. Mm-hmm. She made it into the store, but the attacker still followed her inside, demanding that she still release her children. Mm-hmm. That's when this 16-year-old student from Mayfield High School named Cannon Bauer tackled him, slammed him to the floor, and put him in a chokehold, and was able to hold him there until the police came.
Please tell me he checked his oil. No, I'm just kidding.
The student went on and won the 285-pound championship in wrestling at the high school. For the attacker, well, he was charged for battery, assault, child abuse, and kidnapping. Now, Cannon from Little Lisa here at Big Rich and Lil Lisa show on Fat Cat Radio, you should have looked at this attacker as he's being put in the police car and be like, can't see me.
Okay, John Cena. You can't see me.
That's right.
That's good stuff. Hey, I don't want to stop you because I know you're going to get on a roll here, but I got to get some shots out. Bruce Glasgow, he just checked in with us. He's like, right on, man. I don't know the words. Maybe you can hum us a few bars. Get it? Hum us a few bars and we can find them. I thought that was funny. Let's see, Kathleen Amy. She texted and she goes, "You guys are sounding great tonight. Really nice of you both for helping the community."
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, young lady. And kudos to you, Kathleen. I know you've been working hard over the last year. This lady, I mean, she has changed her total lifestyle. I've talked with her in the past, and I know her personally. She's lost over 100 pounds in a year.
Well, she needs to be hitting me up, Lisa Michelle Ryan on Facebook, and let me know how you did it.
It's all a lifestyle change, babe. She did it. I mean, it's you know, she. I'm so proud of her. She did a great job. So hey, kudos to you, girl.
That's a good job.
Gwen Clapper did say hi. And speaking of Gwen, guys, I'm going to give you. Gwen is a guest, and she will be coming up the week after next. She's a psychic medium, and she is also one half of the dynamic duo of Perfect Trust Productions, who has, I think, 2 to 3 parts of their docu-series that they filmed over in Ireland. They do paranormal and things of that sort. Man, Vanessa Hogel and Gwen Clapper, 2 great women. But I did have Gwen on, and that show will be in 2 weeks. And we talked about her life as being an empath and a psychic medium, and she was also an EMS. So she dealt in the world where she would see death, and how it affected her and how she had to learn to block that out, because you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But man, there are some really crazy stories, like where she showed up on the, or she didn't have to show up. She'd look over at her partner. She could tell him exactly if there was a death or not and what happened, because that person was already looking for answers and talking to her. So that is wild. Great show. You guys won't want to miss that. That's in 2 weeks. I will be throwing some teasers up on that. Thank you, Gwen, for checking in tonight. Twism again, he's got some stuff to handle. He says, "Man, the show's sounding great, guys. I'll holler at you later and listen to the playback. Thank you." Big Mama's saying she's having problems hearing us. Hopefully, I promise you guys, my goal is to assure you that this audio is going to be spot on 100 going forward. And I don't care if I have to take time off from my real job and lose money. I'm going to get this nipped in the bud. We're going to figure it out. I know that I can control the playbacks when I post those onto YouTube and the other social media, Twitter, Instagram, the web page, you know, our blog and things like that. I can tweak stuff and make it sound a hell of a lot better. But going live is another beast. And with us not having an engineer behind that, you know, over there, and I'm pretty much doing it all from here until I get Lisa taught up some. This is just the way it's going to be. But I promise you, it will continue to get better, guys. And I'm sorry, Big Mama. We're trying to get. I know that you love listening to the shows. Sandy Griffin also, she did chime in earlier that I missed it. She said she was hearing us fine and loving it, and then she said that it could be on Big Mama's side, because she goes, everything's sounding fine to her on her end on her speaker. So good deal. Man, give us something good to eat.
Well, let me do a shout out real quick as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to the Reno Center in Shawnee, Oklahoma. The manager there, his name is Kelly Wimberly, and he's very caring about his customers, in my opinion. Like, I go in there, I tell him what I'm looking for, tell him what I'm trying to look at for a month, and he makes sure I walk out happy with what I want at a price I can afford. So very big shout out to him. If y'all decide to go into Reno Center, tell him Little Lisa from Fat Cat Radio sent you. He's bound to give you a good deal.
Hey.
So thank you, Mr. Wimberly, for caring.
Can he get me an Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch with a light blue and light purple handles? No, because nobody can. Charles has been driving me crazy with that all week. Anyways.
So tell me about this stimulus package you were telling me about, because I've been so busy this week with doing the lunches and stuff, I haven't had much time to watch the news.
With what?
The stimulus package.
Oh, the Corona stimulus package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. They've got all kinds of things hidden in there. And look, folks, we're going to get political just for a minute, but we ain't going to get so crazy political with it. All I'm going to say is I downloaded all 889 pages of this because I wanted to know exactly from A to B what took so long to get the help to the people. It's $2.2 trillion. And at the end of the day, it seems like this was just a big money grab for the politicians, corporations, and everybody else. Yes, hospitals got a little bit, but I'm going to tell you, it was minute in comparison to some of the things in there, which included a giant stimulus in the multiple hundreds of millions to things like PBS, to the Kennedy Arts Center. They tried even slipping in some of the new Green Deal stuff in there, but that got kind of kicked back. There was a point that they were like trying to stick virtual currency in there, and that everybody would receive their currency going forward, and that's how it would start. They wanted to do the virtual wallet. Every bank would have a virtual wallet for their whoever their bank was banking with them, and then we were going to get paid whatever X dollars, 1,000, 1,200 in virtual currency. But thank God that got shot down at the last minute. So that's not a part of it. That would have been scary. Imagine that if we went to virtual currency right now. That means the dollar is nothing. That means there's something going on. The dollar is about to be boo-boo. And that scares me. And there are also a lot of underlying things in there that it just makes you scratch your head. And then you think, it took them day after day after day of the left and the right and the left and the right fighting back and forth. We want this, we want that, we want this. When the people are saying, hello, we need help, you know? And then they're making this really hard to get the money. I was looking at some of the, like, you have to have filed, now, you know, not everybody files taxes every year, but you had to have filed at least 2019 and 2018 to receive this. Anyone that receives food stamps is going to get double food stamps this month, which is good. Kudos, help them out. And then I think people that lost their job or collecting unemployment are going to be some of the first to get the checks. But it's $1,200. That's it, folks. And then if you have kids, depending on their age, it's like $800 to $500 more per kid. And I'm not saying that's it, but let me give you an example. I've got a good friend, Wayne. He did the JFK with me. He lives in Germany. He's from Shawnee, Oklahoma originally. He's a small businessman over there. He teaches English. He speaks fluent German. They're giving them 9,000 euros, 3 months, all bills paid. You don't got to worry about covering it. Cell phone, anything you need. Same thing El Salvador is doing in several other countries. El Salvador is giving the equivalent of almost $10,000 US to each citizen. They're covering their cell phones, their electric, their gas, their food, their water, whatever they need for the next 3 months without reimbursement. You do not have to reimburse it. But yet the best we're getting here is people saying, oh, well, we can defer a payment on here, or we can, you can pay half now and then half. And, what is that going to help somebody that's out of a job right now? And they don't have to pay electric for the next 3 months. Great. But then when 3 months comes up, they're staring down $1,000 worth of electric, $700 worth of city, $1,200 worth of car payments, insurance, mortgages, rent. We're going to be in $1,200. What is that doing? And it took them this long to get to that point when that wasn't even the meat of them passing this bill. Like, I've only got through about 37 pages today because I just started reading. We were doing a lot of other stuff, and it's 800 and I believe 89 pages. And man, there is some yuck in there. It would turn your head. I highly advise, if you have time, which a lot of people do sitting at home right now, go check that out. You can go to any of the .govs, and they'll take you towards the Congress and Senate, and you can print this out. It's 889, or you can download it to your computer and start reading through some of this. Right. It will absolutely make your head spin.
Nothing's free either. Damn well when you go and file your taxes next year, they're going to ask that little question: did you receive a stimulus packet? And that $1,200 is going to be added right onto what your taxable income is as well.
Right. Well, not only that, they're going to find a way to hit the middle class right in the gut, like they always do. The middle class are the ones that carry the poor, and we do the bidding of the rich.
Right.
It's not a
the stimulus packet's a joke. You're bailing out multi-billion companies and letting these little companies go. I have a friend that owns a company down in Coffeyville, Kansas called the Utopia. Owner's name is Kimberly. They're not going to send her nothing, so her place is going to be going.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you. I love you, Sandra Griffin. She just texted in. She's like, Big Rich, I got 3 words for you. New World Order.
Exactly. My friend Chris Carlton, he lives in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He works on his own, like he's a self-contractor.
Right.
I mean, he has his own business, but he doesn't make enough money at his business to file taxes.
Mm-hmm.
He has some disabilities with his back, I believe, and so he's only able to work so much. He doesn't receive Social Security or anything like that, but he won't get the stimulus package.
Yeah, I'm currently fighting. The tax guys right now. I mean, I got a very good lawyer, and we're gonna probably end up winning. But I've been fighting over. This is back from years ago. It's 2017, and we're still fighting over. It was a whole thing because I'm an independent distributor. I have no employees, but as an independent distributor, you own your own S corp or corporation. You have to be incorporated to get the better benefits for write-offs, things of that sort. And Fallon had slipped something in there where even if you're just you and one, and we had to start paying quarterly, what they called a workman's comp insurance. Now, I don't have employees, and if I get hurt, I had an insurance plan, kind of like an Aflac,
right?
That paid me what I would make normally in a week. Was very good, and it did help when I had to have surgery once. But where I'm going with this is they went back because the CPA that I had at the time was taking care of my taxes. Well, they weren't paying this new Fallon approved workman's comp insurance. So what do? They go back and they hit me every quarter at the maximum of what a corporation that makes 1 million plus a year would have to pay in on that. So I get the first letter and it's like, oh yeah, you owe like thousands of $28,000 in workman's comp insurance tax. I'm like, what? So first I went to my CPA and I was slammed. I'm like, what is this, dude?
Right.
You know? And they were like, oh, well, we'll look into it. Then they're like, well, here, we'll give you a number of a lady you can call over there and they'll fix it. You'll have to pay a few thousand and everything will be fine. I'm like, I'm not paying nothing. I'm not paying 28, 100, 1 million, $8, $2.50. I said, this is bullcrap. First off, you guys were supposed to be handling it. Second off, I never even knew anything about this.
Right.
And so it's just been an ongoing thing. I've been fighting it, and hopefully I win. I'm just hard-headed, man. I probably should let that go. But because I'm fighting that, it was recommended to me not to file any taxes until we get this situated.
Right, because they'll probably take it.
Well, whatever they would do. So where I'm going is since I didn't file, I won't be getting a stimulus anyway. So it really doesn't matter to me. And I'm not going to live or die by it because I got toilet paper. I'm just kidding. And I got plenty of bread and I have running water and I've got the Lord. The Lord always got us through anything, man. But this is some crazy stuff. We're getting a little sidetracked here tonight. We're having fun though. It's 8:14. We did get a little bit of a late start. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout out. This is Fat Cat Radio, FCR247.com, and you have great show hosts such as Mike Simons on the Anything Goes project. Also, Twism hosts a show. He'll be having a great one, April 7th. I forget the name of the guest he's going to have, but you can check all the social media and you can find that out. We also play all the good hits and a lot of independent music. If you're an independent artist or you know independent artists and they want to get their music played nationwide, just let me know. Let us know. Go to BRRS-Media.com, get a hold of Lisa and myself. We'll pass the info on to Twism, and we can get your music up here in rotation. And with that said, I was thinking it'd be a good time maybe to slide on in and play that independent song of the week. Folks, the independent song of the week this week is going to come from an artist who was on the Big Rich show. And this guy, his entire life, he's a fighter, man. His story, if you see it's coming out here shortly. It should be Friday, I think we're releasing this, along with the last part of the JFK. So this guy is a fighter. He had learning disabilities, Asperger's, and he was bullied as a child, younger. So one, he fights and stands up against bullying. He's leading the forefront, kind of like Lisa, you're doing with the child abuse. This guy is like totally anti-bullying. He's been on the Mike Simon show. He's been on my show. He has a passion, and he's trying to break through in the rap business. I like what he's doing. I like it so much, we're going to play one of his latest songs. And this is a collab he did with Alicia Grimes. And she's pretty popular on YouTube herself. Let me know if this is coming through loud enough, folks. I can bump it up. So when I get to playing it, if you're listening still, which a lot of you are, I can see, let us know. And I will get that bumped up if we have to. So anyways, it's coming to you straight from the East Coast. And my bud and friend, Slyide, name of the song is called Street Life. Independent artist of the week.
We never break, even when we working harder. Every day we blessed. Life is short, it passes by. I'll keep on grinding till my utter demise. Through all the truth and the lies, me and her will be fine. Slide with me if you believe that the streets raise them stars, raise them stars, raise them stars. Slide with me if you need to cover those healing scars, healing scars. Slide with me, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me, slide, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me. Alicia Grimes, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me, slide, slide with me, slide with me, slide with me. Alicia Grimes, Slyide Entertainment, 2020, we taking over. Slide with me.
All right, there we go, folks. What do you think? That was Slyide with Alicia Grimes, and that was their collab that they did together, man. And I'm gonna tell you what, I love it. I love it. I love the beat. I love the way I love the way he plays on his words. He's not your normal rapper. He doesn't come and just give you verse after verse, line after line. He kind of it's like what's in his mind and what he's feeling, and then he puts it across to you. You know what I mean? And then Alicia Grimes was perfect for him to do this with. I mean, it was just like grimy.
All I gotta say is I might be waiting for one of his CDs that's right into my mailbox.
I like that. Good stuff, man.
So-
So he will be on the Big Rich show this Friday, guys. You can catch him. We had an interview. We talk, we talk about the man behind the music, his life, and everything else, growing up, and then what he has going on, what he's trying to do. And he runs the gauntlet of 5. You know how I do it, man. Everybody runs the gauntlet of 5. So, yeah, there we go. Leash, you want to talk about anything?
So I was going to mention this before we did our independent artist. I know you said that with the stimulus packet, people who have back child support won't be getting any stimulus money. It made me think of this time that I was sitting in the courthouse. Lord knew what it was on child support itself, but I don't owe child support. I'm the receiver for my 2 children, but I actually got in trouble this day by the bailiff. But let me tell you what happened. Before it was my turn, they called this guy to come up there, and him and I thought it was a friend or something, but I've come to find out it was his mom. They call his case up there. He goes stands before the court, and this gentleman owed something like $115,000 in back child support. He hadn't been paying for like years, and he had kept coming to court and making arrangements, but then like he wouldn't pay. And I don't know why, but Kansas is the worst about not arresting people when they don't pay. Like you could be hundreds of thousands of dollars behind, they don't care. Anyway, he's in front of this judge, and the judge is asking him to please explain why he hasn't paid this back child support. So this gentleman goes on and on and on about how he's disabled with anxiety. He can't work a job. He's filed for Social Security disability and has been denied over 10 times, but he just can't work. But then he goes on to tell the judge, if you'll just please quit coming after me for child support. I understand I owe it. Keep adding it on there. Just stop coming after me for it. He says, I'll pay you off. I'll pay the whole entire thing off in like 5 years.
Huh.
So the judges, like the look on this judge's face was priceless. He was like, so tell me, sir, how do you plan on doing this without a job? Because in 5 years from now, you're going to owe X amount of dollars. I don't remember what he said. But I mean, it was still going to be over $115,000. And he said, I about fell out of the pew. I'm sorry, guys. He tells this judge, well, I'm the beneficiary of my mom's life insurance, and I don't plan on her living much longer.
Oh, my God.
Dude, I got in trouble by the bailiff because I just couldn't hold it in at this time. Come to find out, the lady that walked up there with him was his mother. He said this right in front of his mom.
Wow.
Like, I mean, seriously?
People.
The judge got so pissed. He was so irritated with this guy. He actually put him in jail.
When she's gone.
I was surprised he did put him in jail and told him that he was not to be out of jail. He could not get out of jail until he paid every bit of the $115,000 in back child support, and it did not allow a bail. It had to be cash bond only. No bails bond, no nothing. I don't know how he's going to come up with $115,000 sitting in jail, but he ain't getting out.
Oh, hey, I just got a text in from one of my long-time standing friends from in Oklahoma, and that's Rhonda Pennington and her husband Richard. And Rich used to be a big Rich, but that man's in shape now. He also made a life change, and he did good too, man. He lost a ton of weight. He's a good-looking dude now, and he keeps himself healthy. He eats, and the guy, he's awoke, eyes wide open. I mean, he knows about GMOs, chemtrails. This guy, he knows, and he eats healthy, and good man. And I love you too, Rhonda. We've been friends forever. And she said, guys, you're having a great show tonight. We're out back in the fire pit watching, and they love it. So thank you, Rhonda. I love you, and I love Rich, man. You guys have, I've known you guys probably as long as anyone I've known in Oklahoma, and we're still friends. So
From Little Lisa, thank you for listening.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, we do. Every listener we have is like family here. You know how we do that. Lise, you want to give us something funny real quick? Some more?
I don't have anything really funny to say right now. I want to tell you about this lady named Matilda McCreer. She was the longest living survivor of the transatlantic, I believe is how you say it, slave trade.
Okay, transatlantic, yes, obviously.
She died in 1940 at the age of 81 or 82. They said that she was from West Africa, and she was brought over to Alabama when she was just 2 years old. And on board the slave transport ship in 1860, alongside her was her mom, Gracie, and 3 older sisters, and a man who later became her stepfather. Her other 2 siblings brothers were left in West Africa. When they got to Alabama, her mom and one of her sisters was bought by the same slave owner, while the other 2 siblings were never seen again. They just now realized that she was the longest living of that trade. Her grandson's name is Johnny. He's 83 years old now, and he said that he was very ecstatic to find out this information about his mom, that he had no idea she was a slave, and that this information will help him to complete his family tree.
Oh, wow.
83 years old.
It's amazing.
Doing his family tree. I've been trying to do my family tree, and I just found out last week, right before the show actually, that I had a great aunt that lives in Independence, Kansas, and she sent me a picture of herself when she was a baby with my grandma, which would have been my grandmother's grandmother. I think it was my great grandmother or something like that. I don't remember. But I did find out then too that my great grandmother had died in the Spanish flu.
Oh, wow.
From her as well. So
the Spanish flu.
This family tree ain't no joke though. It's hard to do.
Mine's not too bad on my mother's side. I think we go German.
Let me guess. You also have German?
German. My mother's maiden name is Gross. And so imagine that growing up in school. If she used to catch it, they'd be like, hey, it's Sandy. Ew, gross. You know, I mean, she's older, 70s. So imagine those times, you know, how kids were with that name. And that's how I named Charles after my grandfather, Charles Joseph Gross, and as well as my father, Henry Craig. So Charlie has an old traditional name, Charles Henry Craig.
I like it.
The first of his line.
He's a wonderful young man too, very knowledgeable. Yes. Very respectful. He's not one of these punks that you see out there normally around his age wearing their pants halfway down to his knees. Yes. This kid dressed better than I do.
Thank you.
So I do have to say that.
I've instilled knowledge into the son.
Oh, you're funny.
Mm-hmm. That, and I kept his door locked and would let him go outside. Said, you will sit here and you will study. You will sing and you will become something. You're not going to be a failure like your father.
Speaking of family members with the last name where they get bullied, my uncle, my mom's brother, his name is Larry Dean Cox.
Mm-hmm.
Last name is spelled C-O-X, but I mean Cox is Cox. And
well, that's what the prostitutes usually say.
yeah,
Cock is a cock is a cock.
I can't, like, I remember there was quite a few people that would tell him that his middle name was Sucks, and tell him to say his name altogether. And my uncle, he's got intellectual disabilities, and so like when they say Larry, say your middle name is Sucks, now put your name all together, he'd say Larry Sucks Cox, and then he'd be like, oh, that's not nice today, and he'd get all mad. But I remember people saying that to him a lot.
Oh, Mom, I'm sorry, Big Mama. Big Mama just slapped me. She just threw the John Cena smackdown on me. She said Granddad was Charles John Gross, not Joseph. I apologize, Mother. Please don't beat me. Love you, Mommy.
So tell me what the beef segment's about tonight. I want to know.
You only want to know. Hold on. I'm going to read off a couple here. Sandra Griffin texts in. She goes, yeah, my family tree has a lot of broken branches. LOL, if you know what she means. Yeah, I get it. Oh, is that Jason Fouché? He has kind of been the producer behind the screen from 60 miles away tonight. Thanks, Jace. I appreciate you, bro. I'm giving you a shout out. Thank you for helping to let me know when things needed to be leveled.
I have a guy named Chris Carlton reaching out, and he says, y'all need to be broadcasting about how this coronavirus is the same virus as SARS and MERS, and how the U.S. owns the patents for it since 2006.
Yeah, we talked about Corona last week, the weekend before that. And I think our very first episode even touched on Corona a little. I've been posting on our fan page and our closed group for well over 2 months about it, giving insight, letting them know what my feelings are. Guys, I do by trade. I do conspiracy. That's my main thing, and paranormal. But we're doing these live shows now, something new. I got dumps. I got connections. I got, you can ask Lisa. She's seen them. I get stacks of papers dumped on me through 2 dumps a week. And I know a lot of stuff that the average person doesn't know. And I'm not trying to just make things up here. She can validate some of this. She's seen it with her own 2 eyes. I get random calls and visits from people saying, you need to forget what you read. I'm just telling you, it's happened. And with that said, I mean, I've been calling this from day one, but, I'm tired of it. It is what it is. It's going to affect who it's going to affect. I'm not letting it change my life. And with that said, let's move in because time is fleeting tonight. We got to get this, where's the beef in tonight? And I know you were already sweating me about it. So,
beef bourguignon.
Where's the beef?
Beef stroganoff.
Where's the beef?
Sizzling beef. Spicy braised beef. Barbecued beef ribs. Beef Wellington.
Let's get it.
Pepper beef. Beef.
Hey, where's the beef?
Do you see where I'm going with this?
I don't sleep on no beef. We ain't sleeping no niggas. You know I'm on top of everything, nigga. I come on your street.
What? I ain't sleeping on no beef. So, anyways, folks, this week's beef takes us to 2013. Now, I know that's going back a little bit, but this beef has been ongoing for over 6 years. It just ended, so they say, in 2019. And this week brings us the battle of the lifestyle gurus, Martha Stewart, ding, ding, versus Gwyneth, I'll slap the shit out you, hoe, Paltrow. Anyways, Martha Stewart first came for Gwyneth Paltrow in 2013 when she had a few choice words about the actress's wellness brand called, of all things, Goop, during an interview with Bloomberg. She goes, I haven't eaten any of Gwyneth's food from her house, but I have never seen how she lives, so I don't know how she cooks or what she's about. If she's authentic, all the better. And I certainly hope that she is. She really wants to be a part of the lifestyle business, it seems, Stewart said, while adding that she started the whole lifestyle category as the queen of the whole lifestyle thing, Martha Stewart. Yeah. You know, Gwyneth, for example, has a book on the bestsellers list. She must be doing something right, she chimes in. She is charming, a pretty person who has a feeling for lifestyle. She wants to be a bit of a better lifestyle arbiter. Well, fine, good. These are just things that Martha Stewart was saying. So Gwyneth Paltrow and Martha Stewart, they've been battling over this quote. That was from 2013. Then Stewart took shots at Paltrow again in 2014. She said she just needs to be quiet. She's a movie star. If she was confident in her acting, she wouldn't be having to try to do this.
Oh.
What? Martha threw down the heat on that one. Paltrow responded to the diss during Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit that same year, joking that no one has ever said anything bad about me before, so I'm shocked and devastated. Oh, I'll try to recover. This feud continued back and forth in social media until 2019, when Stewart wished Paltrow good luck and said that she doesn't even follow the Goop. She goes, I don't follow Goop, during an interview with Alex Rodriguez for the Corp. Sometimes I look at products that she's selling and I wish every young, and she goes, and then I wonder to myself, but I wish every young entrepreneur well, and I hope that there are many, 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 many different kinds of entrepreneurs. If they're movie stars or hard working women like I am, that doesn't even make sense why she said that, who are not, even if they're hardworking women like I am and not movie stars. So, I don't know, man. Martha, she's smoking weed with Snoop Dogg now. And then I feel like I was smoking weed trying to read that little dealie that we had printed out with the beef. But they were throwing down some beef, though. I mean, Gwyneth was saying that Goop is junk. Gwyneth was saying Martha Stewart ain't nothing but a gangsta pod, doing jail time. And so, they went back and forth, but apparently the beef has been turned to vegetable. And what I mean is it's been squashed. I'm still stupid. Yeah, so anyways, there was our What's the Beef, Where's the Beef segment of the week. I know it wasn't as hot as The Rock and Vin Diesel, and it wasn't as cool as NWA and Tim Dog. But it was something,
Right, it was.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Right now, there's a lady named Brandy Pawnee that just reached out to me, and she is wanting to help me put these lunches together so I don't have to do it alone. So I want to give a shout out to her.
Amazing.
She's from Shawnee, Oklahoma, and she's actually in a group called What's Going On in Shawnee. So thank you, Brandy, for offering to help, and I can definitely use it. And God bless you.
Absolutely. Man, yeah, I would love to come out and help, man, but you scared me when you told me about Tent Man.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy there, I guess there's a guy out there, he lives in a tent, but he lives in this tent butt naked.
He does.
And he paints his nails pink.
He likes the hot pink, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, every day I take him in mill, he's just letting it hang out there for all to see.
And he's free balling.
But it doesn't stop me. I had my roommate, Jason Fouché, take him his meal yesterday because he was off work.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't warn him. It was kind of like one of those, like, let's just see what happens. He got back to the car and he was like, don't ever send me up there again. And I said, was he naked? He was like, yes. And I said, did he try to cover up? No.
That's horrible. Hey, also I want to give a shout out to my man, Josh Morris, from the Everything Paranormal show. I just talked with him on the phone the other day, Friday, He gave me a call. He lives out in, on the East Coast in the mountains. Just a good old mountain boy. But he's got a lot of things going on, man, and he's about to be a part of this expo. I know I had mentioned that last week, but I want to give another shout out. If you guys are going to be in the North Carolina area, go to check out Josh Morris's Facebook page, and that's at the Everything Paranormal Show. And he does a live show every Thursday on YouTube, and he has all kinds of great guests. He's had Bob Fountain on there. Dude, Bob Fountain is a legend in the paranormal field. He's had that guy on several times with SRS and some other people. So if paranormal's your gig, man, check Josh Morris out. Give him some love. Tell him the Big Rich sent you over on his YouTube channel at the Everything Paranormal Show. I get him and Mike with the Anything Goes project and the Everything Paranormal Show. Like, I kind of want to do a combination of the two. I mix it up sometimes. I'm going to check any last incoming texts or shout outs, and we're going to go ahead and probably call it a night, guys. Hopefully you had fun. We ran long tonight, and I apologize because our shows are usually only an hour. We did get a little bit of a late start, and if you're still with us, thank you. We appreciate it. And Lise, do you have anything that you want to share with the folks before?
I do. I want to reach out and give my deepest sympathy and love, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tornado that hit down yesterday.
Where at?
Trying to think. I can't remember exactly where it was now. I want to say I think it was Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Jonesburg, maybe. Anyways, the destruction from the pictures I've seen, they were just so sad. So I want to say from Lil Lisa and Big Rich here, you guys are in our prayers. You know, stay safe during this coronavirus. I mean, now we got so many people more out there on the street that don't have anywhere to go with this virus, and I don't know. I seen that and I literally started crying like a big baby.
You know, tornadoes are the devil, man. They wreak havoc. They are crazy, and they can just tear some shizzy up. And yeah, my heart goes out to anyone that had to be a part of that. And with that said, you know how I do it, folks. God bless. Stay safe, and have a great night. We're going to play you out with something here. I guess, man, oh, hey, look. Let's give my man Slyide a little more love. We'll play his song as we're closing out tonight. How about that? How about that? Remember, what was the name of that girl that did that, please? She's like, well, meet me outside. How about that?
Are you talking about Cash Me Out?
I don't know. I guess she's like a super rap star now. Too.
Yeah, it was Cash Me Out chick. I don't even know what the hell Cash Me Out means. So I guess I'm not hip hop like the rest of them out there. If we're still live, that's Jonesboro, Arkansas is where that tornado was.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. Man, I'm not even finding this dang song here now. It just disappeared on this new tablet that we used. We're looking so professional. Well, folks, we just won't have a song to play out. I'll play us out with one when I do the edit on this and throw it up on YouTube. So have a great night, guys, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being fans, and thank you for helping us grow and do what we do. Have a great night.